I want you to just explore what would it look like if you brought mindfulness, mindfulness and presence and that awareness into the challenge, all of the challenges that are showing up in your life and in your work. It's also important that you bring some spiritual principles into how you make decisions, really unpacking and deconditioning who you think that you are. Step one, make sure that you know who you are. The other thing that I just want to point to that I see as one of the pitfalls when you experience your spiritual awakening, or even when you are ascending on different levels, there's a tendency to withdraw. My apologies in advance, but hopefully you don't just desire to completely disengage from this world. This topic comes about because I have so many clients who have this experience where they step into my world and pretty rapidly their spiritual gifts begin to open up. And when I'm saying spiritual gifts, I don't just mean what we think of as being psychic. That is one way. Also, dreams are another. But also noticing that some of their other ways of being, like their ability to be empathetic or their strategic mind. By the way, these are also spiritual gifts. There are lots of different types of spiritual gifts, but what makes a spiritual gift different than, let's say, a skill set, right, is that you didn't have to go and do a ton of studying for it to be activated. Now, education is always valuable. That is there to help you to refine the gift that's already there, the gift that's already present. But this is you not just going and learning how to do something, it is something that's already innately within you. And you likely see these passed down. We have to just do some unpacking ourselves on the inner plane, do the inner work to let go of some of our judgment around those gifts, because most of us have been brought up in a system that tells us, oh, it's your abilities are only valuable if you worked really hard for them. It is, from my perspective, that one of the most beneficial aspects is really executing, actually getting in the trenches and doing the thing will get you so much further than just getting 10 certifications. Let's talk a little bit about the hippie on the hill stereotype or the guru on the hill. I see so many conscious leaders who have created incredible success in whatever their field, whether that is as an entrepreneur, HR manager, CMO, CFO, whatever it is. When my spiritual gifts started coming online, I had all this judgment around what I thought it meant to be spiritual. Part of my gifting is seeing the whole picture. And in seeing the whole picture, I can literally see for so many of our clients how each one of them individually is going to utilize that gifting in their field to create a difference, to make change, to shift those industries. So just because your gift is coming online, it doesn't mean that you have to go and be your vision of what you think a spiritual person is or a spiritually gifted psychic medium, etc. Now, occasionally that will happen. However, that's going to be a gradual process that's shown to you over time. Anyway, part of why we have this stereotype or why we have this idea is actually put there. It's installed to keep you from pursuing and developing your spiritual abilities. Because if you think, oh, if I am spiritual, That means I have to disconnect from my family. I have to find a new partner because my partner needs to be as spiritual as me. Oh, I need to find a whole new friend group. Most people are going to resist that. And I'm here to tell you that this is a both and universe, that you can have incredible abundance in your life in all forms, spiritually, emotionally, communally, and on financially, all the lees. And ultimately, that's what we need more of. We need more of you to be like in your work, in what you're doing. And part of why you are feeling unfulfilled in the work that you're doing is because you're not bringing that aspect into your day to day, because you're keeping it other, you're keeping it hidden in the closet. And I'm not saying that you have to go out and just announce to everybody, hey everyone, I'm a spiritual weirdo. What is ultimately going to happen is that all of that insight, all of the growth that you're experiencing no longer gets to have an effect where you currently are. And you become over time more and more ungrounded and unable to utilize and integrate that wisdom that you're gaining in a real, tangible way. So, how can you actually begin to integrate your spirituality in a real, authentic way without wearing it as like a badge of honor or leading with, I'm woo woo? I don't recommend at all. But I want you to just explore what would it look like if you brought mindfulness, mindfulness and presence and that awareness into the challenge, all of the challenges that are showing up in your life and in your work. It's also important that you bring some spiritual principles into how you make decisions, really unpacking and deconditioning who you think that you are. Step one, make sure that you know who you are. You've got to do that work in order to be able to make decisions in alignment with who you truly are. But ultimately, instead of making decisions solely from logic, you want to start to bring some of the spiritual insight that you are gaining into how you make decisions. The other thing that I just want to point to that I see as one of the pitfalls, one of the watch out, you turn, don't go this way. Most leaders, when you experience your spiritual awakening, or even when you are ascending on different levels, there's a tendency to withdraw. And while there is an automatic pattern that comes with your awakening, it's really important that you don't completely give in to that. When you start to use your spirituality, when you start to utilize your spiritual gifts for deeper levels of intimacy and connection, we have a pandemic of loneliness that is happening right now. And this is why we have a collective awakening happening. And this society already sets us up to be individualistic. You want to be in rooms and in spaces where people see your fullest potential, where they see you in your highest self, and also are unafraid to challenge you to be that, to embody that version of yourself, to not settle and not be your mediocre self, but to be all of you. Ultimately, what I want you to take away from this is that your spiritual gifts are there for you to be both visionary and practical, not just in the big picture of we need oneness, we need more light in the world, we need blah, 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 blah. How are you doing that in your life today as you go pick up groceries? How are you doing that today in your work with the people that you work with? What are the shifts that you're making inside that then you are bringing to the outside? Human beings are designed to desire growth. And through the method, through the paradigm of euphoric evolution, know that it's possible for you to experience both spiritual growth and practical growth. I hope that you take this. I know that you need to share this for sure. This message needs to be out there because we need more spiritual people living in the world, creating real change.